The horrifying scenes from almost 4 years of civil war in Bosnia. This week, more mass graves were uncovered in Serb strongholds, renewing calls for suspected war criminals to be brought to justice. But there are problems. Some of the men indicted by the United Nations War Crimes Tribunal based in The Hague are also key players in the ongoing peace process. And with me to talk about how this is all going in Montreal is Judge Jules Deschênes, who's one of the 11 judges working on the UN tribunal. It would seem from a distance this is going pretty slowly. You've got 72 warrants out, only one person in custody so far. How do you think this is proceeding?
Well, that's true. We have a prosecutor who is in charge of the investigations, and when he has succeeded in gathering enough evidence, he then lays what we call an indictment against the individual. And that is the start of the proceedings before the tribunal. When the judge confirms the indictment, then he issues a warrant of arrest, and the tribunal itself has no police force. So we can't go by ourselves and arrest someone. We have to send a warrant of arrest to the government, which is in charge of the territory where it is felt that the individual is living. And it is up to that government to arrest the individual and surrender him or her to the tribunal for trial.
So how likely do you think it is that Radovan Karadzic or General Mladic, two key people, will end up in custody and face the tribunal?
I have no crystal ball which would enable me to answer that question. All I can tell you is that here again, warrants of arrest have been issued against them, and they are, of course, shielded from the tribunal by their own government authorities who will not deliver them to the tribunal. Now, how long that situation is going to last, only God knows. For the time being, they are literally prisoners behind the boundaries of their own small republic. At the moment they step foot outside of their boundaries, they're likely to be arrested by the governmental authorities of whatever country they may have gone to.
Mm-hmm. Is it frustrating how slowly this is moving, though? How difficult is it even to gather evidence?
It is indeed. I might say that the job has been made extremely difficult because this tribunal was set up while the internal war in Yugoslavia was still going on. So it must be understood that our investigators, our prosecutors, had every difficulty in the world in getting on the ground and gathering the necessary evidence. We have a department, a prosecution and investigation department with the registry of the tribunal, which have over 200 people working in there. So it's not a question of not enough people doing enough work, but it's the fact that we are facing extraordinary difficulties, which, for instance, when the comparison is made, the Nuremberg tribunal did not face half a century ago, because at that time the war was over and the victorious powers had all the possibilities of gathering the relevant archives and documents.
But what a responsibility you have to wage a war against the denial of what's gone on, to bear witness and to see justice done. I mean, as you look at what you're going through and how slowly it's going, do you think you'll achieve that?
All my colleagues, we're 11 judges on the tribunal coming from as many countries from all over the world. All my colleagues share the same faith in the eventual fate of this tribunal and of the people whom the tribunal is wanting to bring to justice. The tribunal has taken all the necessary steps in order to be in a position to proceed. And if there was another accused that were arrested and surrendered to the tribunal today, we would be today in a position to proceed against such an accused. But that is the problem of justice in our imperfect world. We depend upon the cooperation of the various sovereign governments some of which have been actually involved and are involved in the process right now. That only compounds the difficulties.
But for the silenced voices, for the victims, it has to be done.
Oh yes, indeed, and we are very much aware of the necessity of showing to the victims that they have not been forgotten, but that indeed someone, meaning this tribunal and all its accessories, someone is thinking about them and doing the necessary so that they be vindicated.
Thanks so much for your time today. Good luck with your work.
Thank you very much, Miss.